Hello, Rep87 here, and welcome back to Combat Mission Battle for Normandy. We are once again with the Argyle and Southern Highlanders as we are pushing across the Odon in terms of trying to secure a bridgehead. So in the last couple of episodes, we've just been focused on clearing out the Germans around this farmhouse here, which we successfully did so. And now our focus comes to the kind of next set of German resistance, which appears to be central around this kind of field here. In terms of what we know of the German forces, there is a heavy machine gun based in the third story of this building, just in that window there. We've also seen a pretty full German section retreating into this field. Not sure if they took a position along this hedge or if they retreated further back. We did lose sight of them once we went through that hedgerow, but they're in and around here somewhere. In terms of our overall attack, we have got our 3 infantry platoons. So we've got one platoon heading down the far left-hand side of the map, kind of supported by this second platoon heading just kind of centre left, and then we have a third platoon all the way over on the right-hand side coming down this far edge. In the centre, really kind of leading the line for us, we've got 3 universal carriers. We're using them to spot and to suppress any enemies that we can find. Meanwhile, we also have, if I zoom back a little bit further more, we've got our H unit from this platoon over here. He is calling down a mortar strike on this building. Not sure how much damage it's going to inflict on anyone in the building, but we had essentially 2 quote-unquote charges left of medium intensity mortar rounds, so I wanted to start using them before we ran out of time. The general plan of attack is going to be to continue to suppress the heavy machine gun in this building while we advance with our infantry up to kind of this road which cuts neatly across the map, and then we'll devise how we want to apply some force onto this position here. We are a little bit of danger at the minute. With the heavy machine gun purchased in that window, has been starting to put some fire down onto our troops kind of crossing this wheat field here. We've not taken any casualties from that as yet, but we might end up taking 1 or 2 if we're a bit unlucky before we can get him suppressed again. He was originally on the right hand side of the house, which we had a fire line to, but we don't actually have one into this left hand side. So we've got this carrier geared up to do just that. Meanwhile, I've quickened some of these guys' movement orders, just so they get across the field a bit quicker, and a couple of them I've just told to keep their heads down. So hopefully that should be enough. Aside from that, let's just run this first minute, see what happens. I'm tempted, depending on what we spot in the next minute, I might put a slightly bigger cut in for a couple of minutes if we're just going to be spending time walking our troops up, but we'll see how this first minute runs and see what we spot. Let's maybe come down to our carrier, who's going to be doing a bit of work for us down here. Mortar's coming in more or less on target. I wonder if he'll actually get the spot of the guy in that window. Should have a reasonable line. He's shooting the middle of the roof, which is not ideal. Well, that's better. So that should keep him suppressed if nothing else. These guys have got plenty of ammo, so don't have to worry too much about that. Maybe there's a quick pause. I want to see where he is. Yeah, so he's still on that left-hand window. And as you can see, he's starting to feel sorry for himself. To be expected when a brain gun's bearing down on you. Okay, good. So we're just going to keep up this suppressive fire for now. And that'll give our guys the cover they need to get across that field. Excellent. Wonder if they're going to call in the strike. And indeed he does. Okay. That is excellent. So we'll have a couple of minutes of mortar barrage. Well, let's stick around for that. Why not? See that come in. These guys are just going to be continuing to cross. I did have these in a, that's right, I had these in a hunt just to make sure all the Germans were dead, which indeed they are. So maybe just get yourselves across to this line. Oh, you look like you've come under some fire. I'll have to pay attention to him the next minute. Meanwhile, these scouts have done a sterling job. I'm almost tempted to swing a whole section right down this far side and start to kind of use this wood line to then kind of come in behind some of these positions if we need. which is a pretty tempting thing to do with all these guys. In fact, it's probably what I'm going to do. So, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll probably put a very short cut in here just while I give some orders for these guys, just to get them all heading down this left-hand side. Okay, and welcome back. I have noticed these guys have picked up a quick, fast movement order as well, so it's potential they came under a little bit of fire from somewhere. Oh, and that's interesting. They've got faint connection, contact markers around here. So I'll have to have an eye on that, see where it comes from. Although I'd suspect if it was in here, I'd like to think this carrier would have spotted them, but we shall see. So let's just run with the next minute. We shall see where the fire, if any, is coming in from. Oh, looks like the Germans have taken up residence in that house. Okay.
Fire for effect. Out.
Aside from that, I'm not seeing any tracers or any kind of contact or firing lines. More is starting to fall. I just want to have a quick look. I saw a bit of a flash over here. I'm not really sure what it was. Let's go back to say 10 seconds. May have just been a graphical glitch like one of these things. Yeah, okay. Okay, that looks like all it was. I will have to get these guys right up to try and get eyes on. Maybe even into this house. And that's pretty, should be good. Nice spread around, see if there's any other guys on these hedgerows. I say I probably won't do too much damage to people in the house itself, but it will demoralise them. Okay. So you very much need to get yourself into that position, and we will put a do not fire at people arc, just see if you can get eyes, and you'll probably get spotted and fired upon enemy, but it's a start, and we'll have to be careful about pushing these guys down the field. You can get yourself over here now. Yeah, let's get a jog just in case. And we've got our company commander, and these guys need to get across as well. That's fine. You guys can just walk. I think you'll be okay. Meanwhile, let's... you're all rifles. You're not that useful. Think of how I want to push in, and I'd really quite like some additional support, so I might be able to swing one of these guys round. I think once we get everyone across, then we can certainly move one of these dudes off suppression, or potentially we could just grab this third vehicle and bring him along. Why don't we do that? I get them to use a bit of a wide turning circle. Hopefully that's okay, and just come along this road. Just take up this position for just now, and then we might swing you right, like quite aggressively in front of this line, depending on what we see. We do have to watch out for Panzer Fausts, which we have seen the guys are carrying. So that might be a little bit of an aggressive move, but we'll see how it goes. Meanwhile, our scout is continuing to push in that side. Excellent. Right, without further ado then, let's run with the next minute. Three-inch mortars coming in. See, even that was a point target on the house, you can still see the kind of relatively large area effect. Ooh, right in the building itself. Okay, this guy's still not made any spots. Oh, so these nearby ones can injure people within the building and can kill people within the building. More so if they're on the ground floor. Oh, hello. Let's go a quick pause in here. Has our scouts done good? Scouts done good. Another HMG position. Not that surprising, to be honest. So we'll have to get some suppressive fire onto him. Is it just the scout that we can see? Yes. Okay. That's not a problem. We'll get our... I said we'll get this carrier to swing round and engage that position to cover our infantry moving forward. Oh. This AT thing cannot get a break. Is that who you're firing at? Potentially. Yep. Everywhere I move this guy, I just seem to manage to park him right in line of fire of an MG position, despite the fact I'm keeping him in the back. So, well, actually, hopefully he doesn't take any more injuries. No, actually, let's go around and check that. No, they're doing okay so far. But we'll have to get them, we'll move them out of the way. Jeez, can't catch a break. Okay. I don't think there's anything else too concerning. No, that's fine. Let's go command phase. So I think what I'm going to want to do is bring guys down here, so we can probably stick my brain guns in one of these buildings to target on that guy. But we will obviously get support from in here. So let's have a look to see where he's going to end up. Actually, we could bring him... Actually, that's probably a pretty good position to start putting some pressure on. So let's do that. Meanwhile, I'm going to get you... Have we got everyone across? No. Alright, I'll hold your target for now. Just for maybe another minute. I will bring you back down this road a little bit further forward. Likewise with this other guy who's doing some suppressing fire, let's bring you slightly forward as well. Good. To be honest, we could actually end up using this gun, except of course he's under fire, so that's not much good for anyone. I feel like he's going to drive around as a bit of a bullet sponge at the minute. Let's just keep you moving, hopefully break some line of fire with that. Nice to know our lead elements of this section have made it into this area. So I'm going to push them forward just into there for now. Let the rest of your platoon catch up. And we want to get... Who? You guys look like a good candidate. Let's get you starting to move down here. We'll probably get them set up into this house to put some fire on him alongside this carrier, and that should be enough to support our guys moving in. Let's just keep pushing ahead. Oh. Moving okay. Do have to watch out for the guys behind it, but hopefully we should get this guy suppressed. There. So let's for a quick pause, swing around. Just make sure there's no flashy icons coming out this way. Oh, he spotted our scouts. The carriers started putting down some fire. Not bad. Not doing any noticeable casualties, but it's certainly making this chap pretty unhappy. Oh, that scouts are getting involved in it. Interesting. And we lost contact. Okay. Interesting position. Actually, consider this house, because as long as they are in the top story, they have obviously field of fire at the front, but actually nothing out the back, compared to this one where they can see both sides. Just a minor thing there. While I appreciate the efforts, I'm probably going to get you to pull back. I mean, I say pull back as in push on further. Keep doing the scouting role you're supposed to be there for. No. What kind of ammo do we have here? Because I don't envisage much use for these guys. an actual AT role, but potentially we could just, you know what, I'm going to do it. It's not necessarily the greatest decision, but I'm going to dismount them, sort their gun out, and potentially use the ammo on these MG nests up here. That might be the way to go. Everyone else is still moving. These guys are not, but we'll let this team get a little bit further ahead. In fact, you know what, do is a jog just to get that bit moving slightly faster. Okay, and then let's run 1 more minute. You're going to be getting suppressive fire, as are these guys. Good. So we do know there's at least one other infantry section somewhere. They might be gone by into this forest, so we'll have to keep be wary of that. And as useless as suppressing them, obviously it's not taking them out. Okay, fairly quiet minute. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go throw in a quick cut. I'm going to check all my orders, make sure they are all right, make sure I'm not forgetting anyone at the back. Not really going to make any big changes. I am going to grab this scout and we're going to really test our suppression here by seeing if I can't move him along into this building. Because I think that's going to give us some good views and potentially keep IDing of these two positions. But potentially if I don't get any action in the next minute, I'll just run that one off camera. On that way we'll push forward with the mission a little bit quicker. And welcome back. So we got through that next minute fairly uneventfully. Our little mortar team turned scouts did make it across this gap without any incident. They're about to pop up into that second story. Our scout on this far right hand side did make another spot. So we've got some Germans of an HQ unit. So expect probably MP40 and a couple of riflemen. And there's one rifleman there in these foxholes. So what we're going to do is, now that we've kind of got out of the way of this main fire line from the MG that was up here, I'm going to push forward a little bit with this carrier to try and put some fire down on that. Again, just lead with the carriers and their Bren guns, and then have the infantry kind of follow behind. So let's maybe just jump into the next minute and we'll see what that transpires to. These guys have kept their fire targets on. Again, hopefully we'll get a bit more confirmation of what exactly is going on. It's entirely possible that this guy's no even longer in the top story, especially after kind of mortar barrages who do sometimes run around a little bit. We've lost sight there just as he's gone to ground. Did get a little bit of fire from that rifle trooper, but obviously didn't take a casualty. So you can see the last one there. And trundle forward with a carrier. Actually, I don't know if they'll make the spot. There's a little bit kind of, the ground dips away. Oh, doesn't look like he's making the spot. Let's just jump down to his level. Might need to go forward a little bit further. In fact, I might have to go quite a lot further forward. Alright, I might have to look to change the angle on that then. Potentially swing around to this right hand side. Because you won't get too close to them. There's always the danger of Panzerfausts. That's good. You guys are in position. Not making any spots. Interesting. But not going to complain about that. Meanwhile, we've got our first of the Bren sections pushing down, so we're going to put him into this house. Again, just to support taking out the MG nest should remain. Speaking of our other plan, we still have our AT gun, which is now unlimbered. It has one guy left. So what we are going to do, let's start. Sure, let's fire in a couple of shells at that. Why not? Might as well use them up. You can stop firing, and you know what? I'm going to say you stop firing as well. I'd like to get a little bit more info before we keep up that ammo. And you, yes, let's have you move over. So have you kind of move over this direction. Something down around here should be fine. Yep. And let's give you a target order at that. I should clear it once you made a spot, but just to get you going. And then potentially we'll have these infantry sections and some mortars come round to take care of that if we so desire. Meanwhile, everyone else is continuing to advance. We've got these guys pushing down the left-hand flank, and these goods slowly making their way down the middle. I might need to actually get them to do a couple of jogs just to keep up. But let's run for the next minute. Let's see if our AT man can't land a hit in that house. He obviously has to turn his gun first, which might take him a while considering he's only one. Come down and have a look at his hard work. Go on, Commander. Is the commander? I've got faith. Maybe it's misplaced faith. Maybe they can't operate at one man. Oh no, it's turning. Oh, that is... At least I think it's turning. It's not just a figment of my imagination. But that is slow. Alright, that's probably going to take him more time than I have for it to be useful for him to actually get in position. So let's come down and we'll have a look at our brown carrier and now that he's in position. Nice. Just one solitary build, or it was two actually I think. Just to mark he's in position. No further spots from guys here. Again, I don't believe they're taken out, not for an instant, but it's interesting that we're not getting any more contacts with them. So what I'm going to do, you lads, I'm going to quite happily move up into this building. Yep. And again, because it's essentially because it's other buildings we are fighting against. I'm okay moving them upstairs. It does open them up to a few more angles of fire, and if we start taking a lot of fire from a lot of places, we'll have to kind of change what we're doing. But I think that'll be fine for just now. You guys are all continuing to move down. In fact, I probably have to issue a few more orders. Let's keep you where you are, just as a backup in case we need some additional efforts to take out those guys. Let's push into this forest at the back. Really, the sooner the better we can do that. And let's get our actual one complete section as well to start moving down here. And the HQ unit, not too far in front, but well, not in front at all. Okay, that's good. And I'm okay leaving you just for another couple of minutes. These guys are slowly making their way. Let's get everyone else moving, I think. We'll have to be slightly wary about the angle of attack. So we don't want to expose ourselves to some MG man who suddenly finds his courage. But I do think at some point as well we want to get one of our HQ units probably into this building, which is a fair ways away, so we can put our last mortar on this area. And I think that building will give us the best view. So it's probably something we want to kind of prioritize. Might have to be the company. Because we really want to get in there. I'm thinking time-wise, we want to get in there within the next... next 5 minutes, because it's going to take us 7 minutes to call out, and then we want time to actually finish flushing it. Might be a big ask. Might be a big ask, that one. But I don't think anyone else is going to get eyes. I don't think, yeah, being in here isn't, even in this building is not enough. It needs to be that one. So we may or may not get that to work. But we can try. Yeah, no, it's fine. We'll have you just move down the inside of this field for now. We can also cut you across if we feel like we've cleared out what's in here. Once I've got you in position, I'm going to move my scouts out. And we're going to see if we can't end up on this hedge line to have a peek as to what's happening in there. Well, let's continue scooting forward with our universal carriers. We have been doing some pretty sterling work for us this scenario, so I'm definitely happy about that. Let's make sure we're in position to put some suppressed fire on that house if need be, but let's peek our head over here as well. Okay. Excellent, let's just run for one more minute. This might actually be a bit of a quiet one, to be fair. This guy's going to take forever. But as long as he's not being shot, I suppose. It's an improvement on his last situation. Surprised these guys can't see the Germans. Wouldn't have thought their cover would be that good, but at least you give us cover. Well, actually, I don't want anyone to push the scout any further forward, because if we're going to drop some mortars in that area, then I don't really want him in the way. So this is a little bit of an exercise of kind of chasing ghosts at the minute. Okay. That was a very quiet one. Alright, so what the plan is, I'm going to continue pushing forward, pushing this platoon down the side, pushing these guys down in the middle, and I will put a kind of cut in until we get a little bit more contact, or we're in position to kind of push in a bit more readily on these houses. So I'll probably see you guys maybe in a couple of in-game minutes, depending on how long it takes us to get into an interesting position. So I will catch back with you then. So it's been about 2 minutes, just almost 2 minutes fully since I last saw you. Again, no further spots. We are pushing people forward, but I did want to bring you back for this most momentous of occasions. Our bold commander here, Morris, is ready to has finally got his gun pointing in the direction, and his soul, his last HE round. Let's see if he can make good use of it. And to be fair, that was a pretty good hit. That was a pretty good hit, Morris. I respect that. I'll probably let you go. I know, probably another minute on that and a minute on that house. Being fairly cavalier with your rounds, because I'm not anticipating any need for use in an anti-tank role. He's only got armor piercing left, so limited use against buildings. Obviously not as useful as HE, but still explosive shells, so it's going to hurt. Anyway, I just want to bring you guys back for that. I will go continue with my cut until we actually manage to get our eyes on some Germans. Oh, actually, before I go, one final thing. I have a solution to our mortar spotting conundrum. So this HQ, who did our last mortar spot, actually is actually going to come up to the top story of this building, and they should get enough of vision to be able to call in a mortar barrage on that farmhouse. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Yes, which will be medium intensity, obviously just general purpose, and maximum, so it'll just be rest of ammo, which is only about 30 odd rounds, I think. I can't show in this view. Actually, I can show if I jump into command phase. 26, so we only got 26 rounds left. Not huge, but we certainly want to drop everything we've got. Anyway, I'll go put that cut now, and I'll bring you guys back when there's something to talk about. And welcome back. So another couple of minutes had gone past. Still advancing pretty happily without much contact. I did see there was, I think, one previous explosion. I mean, I saw this one as well. And I wasn't entirely sure what it was, actually. Although now I know what it is, that's actually pretty obvious. But I had wondered if it was maybe, someone having a very badly aimed Panzerfaust having a go at it. But it turns out that in amongst these foxholes is, in fact, if you let me click on it, German mortars. That's what they've been having about 3-inch mortars. So, well, we will mow them down with some Bren fire from a carrier, so hopefully get them to change their mind. Although, remember in my last mission how much trouble we had with a single mortar man, so let's not count them out. Yeah, could potentially cause some problems, but not overly concerned about that. Oh, while we're here, let's go into command phase and see if this guy is ready. No, he did have line of sight issues, and so I had to move him around. No, they've still got it. Dagnammit. So this house, I don't know, it seems to be blocking our line of sight. Yeah. despite the fact I don't really think it should be. Which is pretty frustrating. Wonder if it's just because it's measured from the middle of the axis. So you get this, you know, short range. You can kind of always see. Do you think they can? If we have a spin around to this window, whoop, you know, they can definitely see our brain carrier, for example. If we actually say, let's have a look at your line of sight, and they're saying that can't see it. So that's a bit annoying. I wonder if we bring them. Nah, you're gonna have to bring them quite far forward. Here they might be able to. It's just gonna be on the edge of this forest as their point target, but that might be as good as we're gonna get. So we shall have to try that. Let's get you to come into about there. You probably don't have a line of fire on anything, do you? Let's just test that, because it would be quite useful for you to get your mortars involved in these kind of foxhole positions. Oh, you do. Excellent. Mortar the mortars. It only got, what, 12 2-inch bombs, but let's get them used. Meanwhile, the Germans seem to have vanished. We're right up in front of this house. No response. So I'm not entirely sure where they've got to. We are bringing over our sections, and yeah, let's have you. And I will keep you to go quickly, but I'm going to modify it slightly. Come in here, come in there, and then see if we can't push over. I'm pretty sure there's no one in it, but the question is, where have they gone? But yeah, so if we can kind of clear out this, then we can obviously swing these guys left, right even. I know my left, my right. And open up an angle on this if we need it. I think we might have cleared that out by then. Meanwhile, as I said, we're continuing to progress down here quite merrily. I am having these guys hunt, which they're not particularly well suited to be perfectly honest. And eventually our larger unit will probably catch up. We've got our scouts on the opposite bank. Should give us plenty of eyes, and I will have you move down. I also find when you get these kind of periods of relative quiet, in fact, I'm going to push you over as well so we get some more guns on that side. I do find I get a little bit of a false sense of security. But we'll have to see if that transpires into anything. The other thing you could do actually is right there. Maybe that's a backup plan. Congratulations, Company HQ. You are now part of my backup plan. You can do the same dash across this opening that everyone else has done, although I'm pretty confident we have eradicated... I have not eradicated, certainly moved the machine gunner out of that position. Bring you over here, and I might just get you to come into this position, and maybe we can call mortars down that road. But we are running out of time on the mortars. I really want to call them in the next... probably the next 2 minutes. So we've got sufficient time to really press in against this farmhouse. Okay, that's quite a lot of me prattling on. Let's run with the next minute. See if we get any more interesting spots. Oh, worth noticing, or not noticing, mentioning, our illustrious commander over here, soloing it. Yeah, there you go. Since his first hit with HE, has missed every other single shot he's taken. All of them high over this house and then over this house. So not the best. Can you not see them? You can. Don't feel like engaging? What's going on here? You're not out of ammo or anything, are you? Nope. How very odd. Well, we've got some 2-inch mortars on the way, which hopefully give them bad. They are in foxholes, so we do have some protection from that. Okay. And again, another fairly quiet minute. So at the minute, I'm kind of asking myself, well, where are the German resistance, and how much of it is left? What happened to the section we saw running off this direction? Are we going to trip up with them in the woods? And just how dug in are they around these houses? questions we don't know, and questions that are going to have to wait until the next episode. So I do hope you enjoyed this one. A little bit quieter, but I think we've made some pretty good progress across the map, and I think probably a bit more excitement and interest in the next one. Or maybe this is just a low density mission in terms of German resistance, but we shall see. Anyway, as I said, I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will catch you all in the next one.